Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Arvind. Today we are going to perform one of the Dbms lab experiment from part D, that is experiment number 3. So I would like to share the screen for the lab experiment. So this one is the lab experiment. Here we need to create movie database. So there we have to create these many tables: actor, director, movies, movie cast, rating. So based on these, we have to solve these queries. So for these tables, we need to apply appropriate constraints. So let us discuss how to create the tables and how we are going to apply the respective constraints. So before that, I would like to show you the schema diagram for this, for the better understanding. So this is the schema diagram for that. So as we discussed, we need to create these many tables: actor, director, movies cast, and rating. So in the rectangle, there are different boxes. So each box represent one column or attribute. If it is underlined, then we need to apply the primary key. If incoming arrows are there, which means uh, that is the primary key. So some other columns are referring to your column. Okay. Some other in the sense that that will be the foreign key. That will be the foreign key column. For example, let us discuss this incoming arrow is coming for this act ID, for this actor table. So from where it is coming? From the movies cast. So here this act ID will be foreign key. So as we discussed earlier, foreign key is referencing the values of the primary key of the master table. So there is a relation between the master table and slave table. So in the slave table, we are having a foreign key column. So that foreign key column will refer the values of primary key column of the master table. So only those values we can insert. So like this, some other foreign keys are there. So for this director ID, this is one of the foreign key. So this one is referencing the values of this director table, that is director ID. So we'll discuss how to create the tables and how to apply the foreign key. These 5 tables we need to create. So first one, we need to create the actor table. I hope it is visible properly. So according to this schema diagram, so how many columns are there? 3 columns. One of the column is primary key, which is act ID. Simply we need to create by using the create command. Create table. Table name is actor. Act ID. And we are applying the primary key as per the schema diagram. The remaining columns as it is. Act name and act gender. Their respective data type. So similarly for other, what is the next table? That is director. What is the primary key? Director ID. So this one is the second table. Director. So on director ID, we are going to apply the primary key constraint. So that's why we are writing here primary key. And remaining are the normal columns. Then movies table. Where is the primary key? On movie ID. Movie ID. This is the primary key. And remaining are the normal. But here we are going to apply the foreign key. Why? Because some outgoing arrows are there for that particular table. Where is the outgoing arrows? For this director ID, for this movies table. Whenever outgoing arrows are there, which means there is a foreign key. We need to apply the foreign key. On which column of this movies table? That is director ID. Here all the columns are declared. After that, we have to give comma. Then we need to mention the foreign key constraint on that particular column, which is director ID. And that director ID of this movies, this current table, will refer the values of master table. Which one is the master table now? Director. Okay. So that arrow is going towards director in the schema diagram. Okay. So this director ID of the director table will be the primary key, and this director ID for this current table movies will be. I will show you the schema diagram. So here is also director ID and here is also director ID. So here outgoing arrow is, which means this one is the foreign key, and this director ID will refer the values of director ID, which is primary key of the master table. So in this case, who is the master table? Director is the master table, and movies is the slave table. Okay, next, movie cast. How many columns are there? Only 3 columns. Act ID, movie ID, and role. So for act ID and movie ID, we have to apply the primary key first. Act ID, movie ID, and another column is there, that is role. Now we are applying primary key constraint. We cannot apply a separate primary key constraint. Okay, so maximum one separate we can apply primary key constraint. If you want to apply primary key constraint on multiple columns combinedly, then we should use like this. Combinedly, we are going to apply primary key constraint on act ID and movie ID. And one more thing is there, that is outgoing arrows. Just now discuss. What about outgoing arrows? If outgoing arrow is there, then it is treated as foreign key constraint. So how many outgoing arrows? 2. Act ID and movie ID or MOV ID. So for them, we are applying the foreign key constraint. Where it is going? This act ID, it is going towards actor table. That's why we are writing foreign key. This act ID of this current table will refer the values of act ID of the actor table. That is first outgoing arrow. Second outgoing arrow is movie ID. It is going towards movies table. It is referring the values of movie ID of the movies table. Which means we are applying foreign key on movie ID. Reference is movies movie ID. So 2 foreign keys are there. Come to the last table, that is rating. So only 2 columns are there, movie ID and here by mistakenly there is no underline, but it is underlined. That is primary key. That's why we need to apply the primary key constraint. Primary key is there means schema diagram underline should be there. Okay. Then another column is stars. Okay. REV stars. How many stars are there for that particular movie? That rating 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 5. Then come to the foreign key. We are having two columns only, but one of the column has foreign key constraint. or foreign key column. Where it is going, outgoing arrow is going towards movies of the that is movie ID. That's why we are applying foreign key for this current table, that is movie ID. Reference is movies movie ID. That's it. So all these are the commands for the table creations. First, you need to create the tables, all tables, by applying appropriate constraints. So I have already created the tables and I have inserted the respective values. Then after that, you have to perform these queries here. Insert at least 5 records, 4 or 5 records, just for the understanding how we are going to retrieve. So list the titles of all movies directed by this particular director. Okay, Hitchcock. First, I would like to show you all these tables. For this, what you have to do? You have to open your Oracle platform. So I have already created the tables. So I will show you the data of all these tables one by one. So totally, how many tables we are having? 5 tables. One is actor. These are the actors. Okay. Then, what are the directors in the second table? These are the directors. For that, their respective director ID is there. Then, we're having the movies. These are the movies. Their respective language. And these are the movie titles. Jab Harry Met Sejal, Rajkumara, like that. Then, movies cast. Means what is the role of that particular movie. Okay. Heroine, comedian, guest, whether it is hero, whatever it may be. And final rating. So what is the rating for that particular movie according to the movie ID? Okay. So these are the ratings. These are the movies. Let us consider this 501 movie ID. So what is that movie ID? 501. Jab Harry Met Sejal. So for this, what is the rating? So based on this data, we need to access our queries. So what is the first query? List the titles of all movies directed by this Hitchcock. So manually we'll check where is the director data. One, two, three. All these tables are there. Director ID is 105. How to retrieve that? So we need to write this SQL statement. Select movie title. So because we need to retrieve the movie title directed by that particular director, that is Hitchcock. For this, select movie title from movies tables, director table. So what is this shortcut name? Movies M. That is the alias name for that particular table. This no need to write entire table name. So simply we can use the shortcut name that is called alias or alias name. So through that alias name, we are accessing that particular ID, director ID. M dot director ID is equal to D dot director ID and director underscore name. If it is matching, so only those data we are accessing. If you execute this, we are getting two movies, two movie title, Vertigo and Shadow of Doubt. here. In this movies table, manually you can see these movies are directed by this director ID. That is 105. So who is holding the director ID as 105? Let us check in the director table. That is Hitchcock. So that records we want. That's why we are getting these two movie names. These two movie names. Wait again, shut up. This is first query. Second query, find the movie names where one or more actors acted in two movies. So here we need to access the movie names where one or more actors acted in two or more movies. Okay. So we are getting the movie name as Jab Harry Met Sejal. Why we are getting? Because that actors have done the acting in more than two movies. Let's check here. Movie ID. Here. Heroine and this hero. Okay. So act ID is 1 and 4. So who is act ID 1? Madhuri Dixit. And act ID 4 is Sridevi. So these two actors. So what is our query? We want the movie name who act uh, two or more than two movies. Okay. This Madhuri Dixit and Sridevi. That's why we are getting this movie title. So here we are using the group by clause. Okay. So according to the movie title, we are going to groups. So there itself we are applying some condition. If you are going to apply some condition on particular group, then we should use having clause also. Okay. It is mandatory to use the having clause. We cannot use the where clause with group by clause. So this is the condition using having clause. It should be more than one. Then third query, list all actors who acted in movie before 2000, year 2000, and also in movie after 2015. So in between that particular duration, 2015 to 2000. Sorry, 2000 to, so what is the initial year? 2000, and particular duration we want to access that particular details. List of actors. So this one is the query. What is this? Table or view does not exist, which means some spelling mistake is there. So this one is correct. So this is not movie cast. This one is movies cast. That table here. So these are the list of actors who acted in that particular duration. 2002. What is that query? Who acted in movies before 2000, and also it is not in that particular duration. It is out of that duration. According to this, before 2000 means, so it simply means that whatever the duration is there, 2000 to 2015, Except that we need a data. Before 2000 means earlier, and after 2015. So except that 2000 to 2015. So that's why we are getting this data. No movies before 2000. So this is after 2015. So that's why we are getting this. Then next query, find the title of movies and number of stars for each movie that has at least one rating, and find the highest number of stars that movie received. Sort the result by a movie title. So here we are sorting by the movie title. For this, we are using here order by clause. Here in the result, we are getting the result as per the movie title in alphabetical order. That is ascending order. So order by clause will give us by default in ascending order. So B, J, like that. So what is internal query in this? Find the title of movies and number of stars for each movie that has at least one rating. So that is condition. We want movie title with their stars. If at least one star is there, then only it should display. Here. In these movies, we are not getting for a single star movie because condition is like that only. So we are applying group by also and having clause also. In having clause itself, we are giving the condition that star should be greater than 0, at least one. And again, where that is third sub query in this, not sub query, that internal query is there. Highest number of stars. We are not displaying all the stars, whichever is higher for that particular movie. So that star we are considering here. Okay. For this is highest respectively for others. And last query, update rating of all movies directed by this Steven Spielberg. Okay. To 5. So whatever the ratings are there for that particular director, we need to update as 5. Steven. This the rating table itself. These are the movie ID. Now I'll check which movie ID or movie is directed by that particular director, that is Steven. So where will get that particular data? In the director. Steven. Director ID is 106. So where will get the movies? In the movies table. So these movies directed by that Steven, because 106 is the director ID. So out of 2 movies directed by Steven, and check the ratings. So what is the movie ID? 505 and 506. That are the movies 505 and 506. Okay, all are having 5. So we are getting maximum as 5. Similarly for others. Okay. If this one is there, for example, rating table. It is already there. It is already there for that particular director. So what we have to use? We need to use the update command. We will use same query here. 2 rows updated. Let us check whether it is updated or not. The rating table. So it's updated. Okay. So that like this, you need to perform the experiment on this movie database. So thank you very much. We'll stop here.